So if you have any doubts or any questions, can ask me. So this is just a very simple conditional statement. So syntax is also very simple, which I explained in the last time. Let's open that project. Sandeep.
Yes, sir.
So ನೀವು ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ?
ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಂಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದು.
ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಡಿ. ಓಕೆ.
ಆಯ್ತು ಆಯ್ತು.
ನೀವು ಇದ್ರ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ?
ಹಾ ನೋಡೇನ್ ಸರ್, ನೋಡೇನ್.
ಹಳೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ?
ಹಾ ನೋಡೇನ್ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಹಂಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ. ಏನೇ
ಹಾ.
ಹೇಳಿ.
ಓಕೆ.
Okay. So last time we have checked the if condition. So if the condition is true and if the condition is false, how it will execute, how it will behave. So everything we have checked the debugging also. So in the same way, so we have a looping statements. So in the looping statements we have a while loop and for loop. So in the while loop also, the syntax is like we have to give the expression and we have to use the while keyword, and we have to use the colon to end this expression. So if this expression is true, it will execute until the expression become false.
Hello.
You can mute the crowd. Okay, so once the expression until it fails, it will keep repeating here only. So and we were just checking about the break statement. So when the condition is true, I am just breaking this loop. So breaking this loop means when the break statement comes, so that time it will exit from this loop without checking the condition. So because according to the while loop, until that condition fails, it will never come out from this loop. But if we use the break statement, we can break the loop at any time. So break means, so we can stop the loop iterations at any time. It means it will come out from that this much in this indices, it will come out from that. So just we'll debug and we'll see how it will work. I will just put outside. So condition is true, so that's why it came inside. So why condition is true? A value is 1, B value is 10. So here condition is false. And then now what the A value become 2. So because it is incremented here. So the first iteration is completed. So that's why it will print inside the loop. So we can able to see inside. And then the value is A value become 2. So it will check, it will compare the 2 with 5. So like that until we'll check. So when it will become 5, so that time it will. So now it is 4. So now it is 5. So means this is the iteration it's happening. So that's why I put the break only here. So it's keep rotating. So now it is 5. So the condition will be true. So it go inside. So that interpreter it's in the break keyword. So if it sees the breaks keyword, it will come out from this loop. So now we can able to see the execution come directly to here. So otherwise it will go to again to check the condition. So as per this logic, so there still the a value is 5. So it is not the condition, the expression is not false still, but the loop has been breaked. So like this, we can use the break statement. So we can see the output also. So only 5 times it came inside. And there is a continue keyword. So continue statement, we can stop the current iteration and continue with the next. So when there is a continue, so it should supposed to go to the next line to execute these codes. So but what it will do, it will continue to the next conditional statement to check the condition. So just I will use, instead of break, I will use the continue. So I will put the breakpoint here. So now the a value is 1 and b is 10. So it is not true. So a value is 2, 3, 4, 5. So then now the a value is 5. So it will go inside. So after continue, we'll see where it will go. So if we use the break statement, it will come out from the while loop. So but if I use the continue keyword, it will go to this line. Otherwise, it's supposed to go to this line. If I use any other statement, it will go to this line, a equals to a plus 1 and print inside. So it will skip all the below lines and it will continue to the next iteration. So next iteration is a equals to 6. A is not incremented. Why it is not incremented? After continue, these lines is not executed. So it will be keep continue like this. So when it will come out from this loop, anybody can answer?
When the a becomes 5.
Yeah. No, when it will come out from this loop, when it will print that outside. So it will not print, it will come, it will continue like an infinite loop. So if I just continue, it will keep printing. So I forcefully stopped it because it, whenever it comes inside, so it's getting the a value as a 5, and then it is continuing to the next iteration. So but next iteration is again it is a 5. So then again 5 is double equals to 5. Again it will continue the next iteration. So here I am not incrementing in the first line. Before that only I am not incrementing. If I do the increment here, then it will break. So the condition is true. A is equal to 1. Came to the continue. Okay. So a equals to 4. But when it is coming to the next iteration, a will become 6 because it is incrementing here and here. So let's check that. So now you can see from 4 it become the 6. So that's why the continue keyword is it is not going inside this if condition. So when it gets 10, so that time it is exiting from the loop. So these are all the important things to put the logic in our business things. So business things means business logic. So business logic means if you are developing any application, real-time application, for example, you are doing any login page for the desktop or for the mobile. So that time the user has to be enter username and password. So there you will check that username and password is whether true or false. So then you have to redirect to the next page. So that's why. So these that is a business logic. After login, I should, if he is enter the right password and username, it should go to the main page. Otherwise, it will throw the error. It should throw the error to the user. You have entered the wrong username or password. So that is the business logic. At least you should good to use these conditional statements and looping statements for those such situations. So because that is only the will come. Other things you will get it in the Google. Whatever you want, everything you will get it in the Google. You can just use it. So now I just removed the a+1 in the below. So then it will, in each iteration, it will increment only one value. So now the a value is 2 because initially it is 1. So when it comes to this number, line number 8, in the line number 7, the value has been added 1. So that's why a value become 2 in the first iteration itself. So then in the second iteration, it becomes 3. In the next iteration, it is 4. In the next iteration, it is 5. So now let's step to next. So then the condition is true. That's why it came inside. So because of this inside, it will not print this print statement. It will go to the next iteration. But next iteration, we will increment before that condition. So then it is become 6. So then this time it will not true. So until 10, it will execute. So because 10 is double equals 10 equals to 10. So but 10 is not less than 10. So that's why this condition will false. So that's why it will come out from that loop. So in the last iteration, it came out from the loop and it came outside. Okay, like this, we can use the break and continue in the looping statements. So if you have any doubts or any queries or any questions, you can ask me. And else statement also we have already seen this. So let's check one more if it is a else part. So I am just printing else part. So what is the difference between if and if else means? So in the if condition, if the condition is true, it executes only. If the condition is true, only it will come inside that if condition and it will execute the lines. So if it is a false, it will go to the next statement. It will skip that line. But in the if else statement, if it is true, it will execute some set of lines. If it is false, it will execute the else part code. So even we can debug and we can see how it works. So this condition is false, so that's why it come to the else part. So now also it is false, it will come to here. But when it is true, it will go to the continue, but it will not go to the else part. It will execute only this one. So it gone only this thing. Okay, so next we'll go for the for loop. So maximum logic we develop only with the if else, while and for loop only. So because these are only the decision statements. So if you want to decide, and if you want to load a different kind of data or different pages, so you should use these kinds of statements. So that's why these are the important one. So for the Python looping concepts, whatever the data is there, arrays, list, and whatever, so we just use the in keyword. So this we have seen in the before also. So let's use that same thing. Okay, fruits is a list. So after that, we are just iterating the list. To access that each value of that list also, we just check the for loop. So the syntax is for keyword. So after that variable name, and then we can use the in keyword, and then list or array or any tuples or anything we have to mention, which is in the set of data. So the fruit is a list which contains the 3 elements. So which all the 3 elements are the string. So in each iteration, it will bring up with the first value. So the first value is apple. So second value is banana. So third value is cherry. So like this, if you want to iterate any of the list or arrays, so we can use the for loop like this. So even we can loop through a string. So if we loop through a string, so we get each characters. So instead of list, I am just put my name. So now the X value is H, A, or so like this, each character I am getting. So when you want to parse all the each character in the string, so simply you can put the for loop like this. Break statement in the for loop also. So here also the same thing. So if you put the condition and if you break it, it will come out from the loop. So same thing, there is no any difference what we checked for the while loop. So this is just a for loop. So for the for while loop, for loop also the same thing. So you can practice and you can test that one also. Also the continue is also the same thing. So range is a method actually. So range function returns the sequence of numbers starting from 0 by default and increment by 1 by default and ends at a specified number. So but when we do the range with some value, so how we can iterate all the each values. So let's try that. So I just put the range file. So from 0 to 4, we can able to get the value. So when we want numbers from 0 to 100, and if we want to make an addition, so we can get a range of 100. And then we can keep one variable as a sum equals to 0. Then sum equals to sum plus x. So what happened? X value every time 0, 1, 2, 3 like that it will come. So it will keep adding to the sum value so that it will calculate complete 0 to 9 addition. So we are not printing the sum value. So after completion of the loop, let's print the sum value. So 4,950, 4950. So like this, we can use this range utilization. So range function, we can pass the parameters also. So 2 is for 2 starting value. So when we pass 2 and 6, so it will start from 2, it will end at 6 till end 6. And when we pass the 3 parameters, increment the sequence by 1. However, it is possible to specify the increment value by adding the third parameter. So how much increment it should be there? So we can give. So by default, it will be 1. So it means it will keep incrementing one value. So when we want even numbers, we can make it as a 2. Sorry, even when we want to make it as a 1, and we have to start from 2. So let's try that. So I will try to print all the even numbers. 2 to 100. Difference with 1. Difference with 2. So just I will print the X value. (94, 96, 98, 92, 80. So it is printing all the even numbers. So it is starting from 2. So when I want to print odd numbers, so I can use a 3 with buffer 2. So now it is printing all the odd numbers. So like this also we can use. So this range function which can contain 3 parameters, up to 3 parameters. So if you use one parameter, that is it will start from 0 till that value it will print. So if we use 2 parameter, so that is the from to value. So when we use 3 parameter, third parameter is for the how much increment in the each value. For example, if you want 10 increment, start from 0. So you will get 0 to 100 as 90 as a 0, 10, 20, 30 like that. So whenever it is necessary, we can use this. So else is for just to print, execute some set of code after completion of this statement. But in any other programming language, we are not able to use the else in the for loop. So only in the Python we can use. So we can give in the if, how we use the same way we have to use the else part. So it means once the condition is false, there is not like a condition. So once this range is completed, so at the last time, at last only one time it will execute this else part. So let's just check that. So after that, all the iterations, so it is printing only one time, finally finished string. So for example, you are just printing some many range, and after that you have to mention to users something it is finally finished. So like this, we can use the else statement for this for loop. For example, I will iterate the empty list. So it will directly print the else part. Finally finished. So there is no values printing because so in the first time only it will get failed, means there is no any values in the list. So it will directly go to the else statement. Nested loops. So how we use the nested if, in the same way we can use the nested loop also. So it means that so inside this we can use one more loop for a in range of 10. So we should use the indentation after this colon. If we don't use the indentation, we get the error. So that's why indentation is the very most important in the Python programming. So because we don't use any open flower bracket, close flower bracket for the code, a set of code to mention that how many lines of code will comes for that inside this loop or outside the loop. So we will not come to know without that, without the indentation. So only the indentation is the indication. So I just put the one more for loop and I am just ranging to 10 and it will print 10 times. Then it will go to next. So I will use F first. Okay, so it is keep printing first. So because I mentioned I am printing only X value. I am not printing A. So now it is printing 0 to 9 and then again 0 to 9. So it means that so in the first time, so when there is a fruit, so it come inside and it will print and it will loop until that range exists. So let's print each time X value also. So now we can see. So first means so it will print this X statement. So after that, so it will keep iterating until that A value become 10. So after that again it will go to the iteration. So in the next iteration we have a second, it will print the second and it will iterate from 0 to 10 again. So if we use the loops like this inside the for loop, so it is called as a nested loops. So depend upon the logics, we can use it. So we have to think, so where we can use this kind of nested for loops. In Google, we don't get the business logic. So these are all the business logic. If you want to implement by yourself, you should able to think how we can use, where in which situation of our programming languages we can use. So that should be think from yourself. So we don't get any code like that. So creating a functions, already I think we have seen the functions before this only. So that time also I have explained that how to create a methods and all. So we need to use the def keyword. So that is the meaning of that we are going to create a methods. So after the def keyword, we should give a space and we should use the method name. So method name is also the same thing. We should start from the small alphabets. It should not start with any numbers and it should contain only a underscore. We can't use any other special characters. So like that, we can create our own defined method names. There is no any restriction to create the method name. We can give our own names. So after that, there is a open and close brackets. So in this open and close bracket, so we can pass the parameter also. So how in other programming language we pass the parameters, same way we can pass the parameters. But here we don't need to mention any type of the parameter. So you just need to mention the variable name. So let's execute and we'll see that first. So this, okay. So I'm creating a one method of addition. A equals to 10. B equals to 20. Then print A plus B. So it is not printing any output because we are not calling this method. So this is a method definition. So only when the method is called, that time only it will start executing the code. So after this method definition only, we can call it. So the value is 30. Now it is printing that value 30. So this is the basic syntax. We used to use the def keyword and addition. Any method name is our own defined. After that, we should use the colon. So after that, we can put any number of lines of code which should execute when we call this addition method. So now we'll see the parameterized A comma B. So now what I am defining in the method. So let them pass the A and B value. I will add it and I will print the value. So means whoever is going to call this method